Now, the menace of hard drugs is a pandemic that has taken a toll on the future of many young Nigerians. Hence, a renewed war against it is essential. Officials of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted what the agency described as the single largest seized heroin consignment at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos. The NDLEA personnel also arrested some members of the criminal gang involved in trafficking heroin across Nigeria, South Africa, Mozambique, Europe, and America. The consignment seized during the operation weighed 51.90 kilograms. And addressing newsmen in Lagos, the NDLEA Chairman, retired Brigadier-General Buba Marwa, said the first interception of 49.70 kilograms was made at the Lagos airport. Well, let's share the story by senior correspondent Ivy Kanu.
He doesn't brief often in Lagos, but this feat calls for his presence. On January the 10th, 2024, his men intercepted a suspicious package at the Sakor import shed of the airport's cargo terminal.
In total, we recovered 45 blocks of the illicit substance with a total weight of 49.70 kilograms.
Little did they know that they were going to uncover a syndicate that has its tentacles spread across different countries and also connection with the Ikorodu seizure.
We started with the arrest of the freight agent, whose name is Wasiu Babatunde. The receiver, whose name is Felix Chinedu. Thorough search of the warehouse, which led to the recovery of 56 similar cartons. We were done exploring various leads we had unraveled an organized criminal network that operates in South Africa, Mozambique, Nigeria, parts of Europe, and America.
Their searchlight also led the operatives to a female said to be a wife to the kingpin.
She is Confidence Indi Diamaka, who is one of those earmarked to collect part of the consignment. A further search was conducted in their residence located at the Agopalas area, Festac town. Several documents, including bank and property documents belonging to Festus Ibewike.
Bank accounts, property and others belonging to the members of the syndicate have also been tracked.
A total of 107 bank accounts associated with 14 members have all been placed on PND status. In addition, the hotel and the mansion linked to the head of the syndicate in Nigeria, Reginald Peter Chidebere, and located in Agopalas area have already been marked for forfeiture to the federal government.
The chairman vowed to ensure they are brought to book. At the end of the operation, a total of 10 suspects were arrested. Meanwhile, we are told that the agency has contacted their counterparts in South Africa to help track down the kingpin who resides in Mozambique. Ivy Kanu, TVC News, Lagos.
That's a report by our correspondent Ivy Kanu. BKO, this large find by the NDLEA can be a little bit worrisome. But what do you make of this, find, and what do you think is fueling the, the desire for this illicit trade to thrive?
It's a very simple question to answer. Any business with a huge profit margin, people will take all kinds of risk to get involved in it. Kidnapping for ransom. When you are successful, when you successfully pull off a big kidnap project, you can earn about 100 million on one person. Which kind of armed robbery would you involve yourself in to make that kind of money? So you can see why it's difficult to stop kidnapping in our country. But they've seen Boko Haram kidnapped train passengers, and they collected 100 million per head. In fact, one of them, a Pakistani, paid 200 million. is the same way that I look at drug trafficking. A very small portion of cocaine costs a fortune. But we are in a country where such illicit drugs are even containerized. There was a time when money was money, and cocaine valued at 1 billion was seized in our country in a container. That's to tell you how bad things have become. And guys are ready, the addicted will do anything to feed their addiction. You look at them, if they've not taken the drug, it's like they are undergoing serious mental and physical torture. They want to ingest it because their system has become accustomed to ingesting those drugs the same way you are accustomed to breathing in and breathing out. For them, it's the oxygen. And that's why the kind of money, look, if they were to sell this in the open market, it will cost a massive sum of money. And that's why you see the kind of life that drug barons live. Look at the kind of houses that they live in, the mansions. They live for the day. They live believing that, well, if death comes, it comes. But when they are alive, they live like kings. They build palaces all over the place because the money they make from this illicit trade is hefty. It's not, whether it is opium or cocaine or heroin, these illicit drugs are very expensive. It's not for everybody. So you can see what the NDLEA under Buba Marwa has achieved is a thing of pride to me as a Nigerian. And I'm extremely proud of Marwa and his team because I've seen clearly that if we can sustain this war, drug addiction, drug use will be reduced to the barest minimum in our country. I'm not going to say we'll be defeated. I'll be lying if I said so. He will try his best, but you can see that we are making real progress. In terms of even helping some of these boys to, in terms of rehabilitating some of these guys and getting them to give up their addiction. The NDLEA is doing a lot of work that people do not even know about. They don't just seize these drugs, they also do a lot of counseling. They also help parents. General Marwa told me about a parent that cannot sleep until his son is already snoring because he knows that if he goes to bed with that boy still on his feet, anything can happen. He can barge into his father's room and take his life. All of the big crimes in our country, whether it's Boko Haram brand of terrorism, they are fueled by drug addiction. And that's why we must defeat drug addiction. We must defeat these people trying to turn Nigeria to a nation where
a drug haven.
Yes, drug use, illicit drug use is preeminent.
So, Tunde, taking a cue from what BQ has said now, how can we successfully defeat this illicit drugs, which is more like thriving? Already, we know the NDLEA made this, single find in its different investigations so far. But how do you think we can successfully handle this, ensure that this war is won?
Well, I think, from what Jide said, Brigadier-General Buba Marwa deserved a national award for what he has been doing for the past 3 years. For any seizure like this that is made, he has succeeded in saving millions of lives of youths that are wasting away because of the impact of the drugs they are taking. For every seizure made like this, he has succeeded in reducing the free flow of money in our society. And that is why an average Nigerian should be concerned that the NDLEA must continue to record sources so that we can reduce the free flow of money, because the drug too contribute to the destruction of our value system. When a young man who has just left the university should meet any of his classmates in the secondary school who is into drug business, he will not be interested, and he already has billions of naira. He will not be interested in pursuing his education. But for every success he has made, that I said, it's a war against illicit flow of funds in Nigeria. And when there's cheap flow of funds in Nigeria, you have crimes and the other associated elements. They even plow their money into politics for you, or what you know. So what we can do is that, apart from the government empowering the NDLEA under Brigadier-General Buba Marwa to do more by having investigation in all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, in all local government, because people are making a mistake that it is only the affluent that are taking these drugs. Our young people in the ghettos, in the rural areas, they're also into drug taking. People that you can never expect. We are gradually destroying the life of our youths. And except we make a conscious effort, an African Nigerian make conscious effort by reporting all these activities to the NDLEA, we may not win the war. Because if there is no demand for this drug, these people will not be so desperate to smuggle it into Nigeria and make money out of it. And for every billionaire that you make out of drug, you have succeeded in destroying the lives of thousands and thousands of young school leavers who can be of help to Nigeria.
Don't you think sensitization campaigns can help, help
well, I think, you see, I keep on saying that without necessarily passing judgment on the so-called social national orientation agency, I don't really know what they are doing. Because in those days when we have MAMSA, they are actually trying to put us on the back of our societal values. So the National Orientation Agency can help the NDLEA in mobilizing and enlightening people about the dangers of drugs. Because like he said, the moment you are into drug taking, the thing will seize the larger part of your life. So the general public has to be interested in what their children are doing. When your children return from school, if you see any strange bag, examine their bag, look at their bag. When you see them with a bottle of Coke in the afternoon, parading it along the street, you know that there's drug inside. Ask them questions. If your children suddenly develop a kind of attitude that is strange, begin to ask them questions and put them under surveillance. Because it is by so doing that we can curb this thing. Like I said, if there's no demand for this drug, these people will not go to this extent.
They won't be in business.
In business of smuggling it into Nigeria and making money out of it. And like I said, every other billionaire that you produce from drug, you have succeeded in destroying the life of thousands and thousands of Nigerian youth. So every Nigerian should be concerned, should support the NDLEA in nibbling this and reducing it to the barest minimum possible.